Full-size fruit trees need 40 feet and a real backyard. That's what most people believe, and it's not an accident. Nurseries make more money selling you a full-size tree than a dwarf one, so dwarf varieties rarely get pushed. But the 40 feet idea itself doesn't hold up. One of the trees on this list produces more fruit specifically because its roots are trapped in a 5-gallon pot. Another is measurably radioactive. Another grows its actual flowers inside the fruit, pollinated by a wasp that climbs in and never comes back out. 9 dwarf trees, 1 patio. No orchard required. Let's count them down. Number 9, dwarf Cavendish banana. Standard bananas hit 20 feet. This mutation stops at 6, the tallest tree on this list, but still short enough for a covered patio. Growers have been selecting for shorter banana varieties for centuries, since a shorter plant is less likely to snap in a storm and easier to harvest without a ladder. Because it's mostly water by weight, it gets top-heavy fast. Use a heavy 15-gallon pot to keep it from tipping in wind. Give it rich, slightly acidic soil and full sun. Water it daily once summer heat sets in, and feed it every couple of weeks during the growing season to support that heavy leaf canopy. Skip seeds entirely. Commercial bananas are sterile and won't produce viable ones anyway. Propagate from a rooted pup, a small shoot that grows off the base of an established plant instead. Harvest takes 12 to 15 months from planting to fruit. Watch for the big purple flower to drop and the cluster of green bananas underneath to swell and pick up a slight yellow tint. That's your signal to cut the whole stalk down. Hang it indoors to finish ripening over the following week. Here's the strange part. Bananas are genuinely radioactive. They carry enough natural potassium-40 that shipments have set off radiation sensors at ports. Number 8, Nagami kumquat. Kumquats are the most cold-hardy citrus grown commercially. Established trees survive well below freezing without dying back, far longer than a lemon or orange would last in the same cold snap. That hardiness is exactly why kumquats can be grown successfully in containers as far north as many other citrus simply can't survive. Use a 7-gallon pot with citrus blend soil to protect the taproot from sudden cold snaps. Give it full sun and deep watering every few days in summer, tapering off once temperatures drop. Buy a grafted tree rather than growing from seed. Grafted trees fruit within a couple of years, while seed-grown citrus can take 5 or more. Harvest hits in winter right when the rest of the garden has stopped producing, which is part of what makes this tree worth the container space. Snip the fruit individually with small shears rather than pulling, since kumquat branches are delicate and tear easily. In the kitchen, eat the whole fruit skin on. That's the trick with kumquat specifically. The skin is the sweet part. Number 7, calamondin. This miniature citrus is genuinely ever-bearing. It produces fruit and fragrant blossoms nearly year-round in the right climate, rather than in one seasonal flush like most fruit trees. Use a 10-gallon breathable grow bag with fast-draining citrus soil. The fabric lets excess water escape and keeps the roots from sitting wet. Soak it fully, then let the top few inches dry out before watering again. That cycle keeps the roots healthy and mimics how citrus naturally handles wet-dry cycles in the wild. Buy a grafted sapling for faster fruiting. Feed it every 6 weeks or so with an iron-rich citrus fertilizer to keep the leaves dark green. The flavor is what surprises people most. The peel is sweet. The juice is sharply sour. Traditionally, you eat the whole small fruit in one bite to balance the two flavors against each other. Number 6. Dwarf ever-bearing mulberry. A standard mulberry can reach 40 feet, with roots strong enough to crack pavement and foundations. This dwarf variety stays container-sized and fruits continuously from late spring through the first frost, instead of in one single flush like the full-size version. Use a 15-gallon fabric grow bag rather than a hard-sided pot. The fabric restricts and air prunes the roots as they reach the edge, which is part of what keeps the whole plant naturally dwarfed. Start from a dormant bare root cutting planted in early spring and water it deeply every day once fruiting begins. Mulberries are heavy drinkers when they're actively producing. One more thing worth knowing: mulberry leaves are the near-exclusive food source of the silkworm. The global silk industry has historically depended on this one genus of tree, since the caterpillars will starve rather than switch to anything else. Hey, quick favor before we keep going. If this is helping you out, tap that subscribe button. I share practical put-food-on-the-table garden content every week. Number 5. Genetic dwarf peach or nectarine. This isn't a full-sized tree grafted onto short rootstock. It's a true genetic dwarf, meaning the compact size is written into the plant's own DNA rather than forced by grafting. It caps out around 5 feet, but still produces full-sized stone fruit, the same as its 15-foot cousins. Use a 15-gallon pot. The extra weight helps keep it from tipping once it's fully loaded with fruit in midsummer. Buy a bare root dormant tree and plant it before spring growth begins. Water it consistently through fruit set. Even one dry spell will make the tree panic and drop unripe fruit early, so consistency matters more than volume here. Feed it once in early spring with a slow-release fruit tree fertilizer. Here's something most people don't know. A peach and a nectarine are the same species. The only difference, fuzzy skin or smooth, comes down to a single recessive gene. Number 4. Dwarf pomegranate, Nana. Pomegranates naturally thrive in poor, rocky soil, which makes them unusually forgiving container plants compared to most fruit trees on this list. Use a 5-gallon unglazed terracotta pot with a gritty, fast-draining mix, heavy on sand or crushed gravel. Terracotta pulls moisture out of the soil faster than plastic, and pomegranates actually prefer that dry-leaning environment. Propagate from a hardwood cutting rather than seed for faster, more predictable fruiting. Let the soil dry out significantly between waterings, almost to the point of the leaves drooping, before giving it a deep soak. There's an old story behind this fruit, too. In Greek mythology, Persephone eats 6 pomegranate seeds in the underworld. That's the origin story for why she, and Winter, along with her, returns underground for part of every year. Number 3. Meyer lemon. Meyer lemon isn't a true lemon. It's a naturally occurring hybrid between a lemon and either a mandarin or a standard orange, sweeter and less acidic than the lemon you'd buy at a grocery store. It's named after USDA botanist Frank Meyer, who brought it to the U.S. from China in 1908, specifically because of how well it performed in cooler climates compared to standard lemons. Use a 10-gallon pot with citrus-specific soil and full sun. Water when the top inch of soil dries out, and feed every 6 to 8 weeks during the growing season. This is the dwarf citrus most container growers start with, and for good reason. It's the most forgiving of the group, tolerating a little neglect or an inconsistent watering schedule better than any other citrus here. Number 2. Wertz Dwarf Avocado. Also sold as Little Cado, this is a true genetic dwarf avocado. It stays under 10 feet in a large container, instead of the 40 feet a standard avocado tree reaches in open ground. It's self-pollinating, which most avocado varieties aren't. A real advantage if you only have space for one tree. Use a 20-gallon pot with well-draining soil and keep the moisture consistent without letting it get soggy, since avocado roots are prone to rot in standing water. Feed it lightly every couple of months during the growing season rather than in one heavy dose. One real caution: if you keep animals near the pot, avocado leaves, bark, and skin contain a compound called persin. It's genuinely dangerous to birds and livestock, and it can upset a dog or cat's stomach too. Number 1. Dwarf fig, Petite Negra, or Little Miss Figgy. Standard fig trees can hit 30 feet with roots aggressive enough to damage pipes and foundations. These dwarf cultivars max out at a few feet, and unusually for a fruit tree, this one fruits better when its roots are restricted. A tight 5-gallon terracotta pot will outproduce open ground, since the confined roots push the plant toward fruiting instead of endless growth. Propagate from a dormant hardwood cutting stuck directly into damp soil in early spring. Figs root easily this way without needing a graft. Let the soil dry out fully between waterings. Overwatering splits the fruit as it swells and can rot it on the branch. Here's the part that still catches people off guard. What looks like a fig's flesh is actually an inverted flower. The tree's real flowers grow entirely inside the fruit. Some wild fig species depend on a single specialized wasp climbing inside to pollinate them, one of the more specific examples of coevolution in the plant world. 9 trees. None of them need more than a patio corner and a decent-sized pot. Which of these are you already growing? Or is there one here you didn't expect to see on this list? Take care of what you grow. It will take care of you. I'm Elias Ford. See you in the next one.